Monday, March 6th. This weekend I participated in a sky breathing, like meditation course. I thought, fuck it, why not? I enjoyed the first intro session, so I paid $245 to do a whole weekend. This weekend consisted of me participating in a meditation class for about 2.5 hours. Friday from 4 to 7. I mean, they said 3 hours each session, but they were more like 2.5. And then Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. around 10:30. Which was a great experience for me because it forced me to sit still and try to tune everything out around me. And part of the, I guess, weekend workshop was that we couldn't drink alcohol, caffeine, eat any red meat, and that we were supposed to pretty much eat healthy, drink lots of water, eat fruits and vegetables, in order to allow our body to cleanse and to utilize all its energy on the breathing and healing process. That part, easy. I don't drink alcohol and I hardly drink caffeine anyways. And I've been thinking about quitting eating meat already. I've done it before. So it really resonated with me, and I'm just not going to eat meat anymore in general because it made sense. Not that meat is bad. I mean, I think it tastes good. It's just that the body takes more energy to process it. And I was thinking, well, that makes sense. Maybe I will allow my body to have more energy to heal and work on some other things that are more important than digestion, right? Eating things that are easy to digest may help my immune system in the long run anyways. As far as lots of fruits and vegetables, I kind of failed on that end. I did eat fruits and vegetables, but not for every meal. I actually went and got some Mexican bread and some tamales. I only ate one. I have 2 more in the fridge. I haven't eaten them. They're vegetarian. I mean, they're just cheese and jalapeno. They're not the healthiest of foods, but I mean, they're probably pretty easy to digest. A lot of the things that the instructors were saying and talking about resonated, and they were things that I kind of already know. Some of the things did not. We did a lot of meditation practices, and although maybe some other people might feel the things that they were talking about, I did not. So I don't think that I'm going to continue with the courses after this. It is probably really good for like people that are not very aware, not very self-aware or spiritually aware. This is great. It gives them an I don't know, a foot in the door, a really quick learning tool to have. But when the instructors start talking about SRI, the actual person that invented this whole meditation thing, what do they call it? They call it AOL, which is funny because I don't think of really cool, I think, to just check in with myself every now and then. And I think that's what this weekend was about, was me just regrounding, recentering, tuning everything out. Oh, the other thing we could not do is spend a lot of time on social media, electronics, and binge watching, anything like that. We were really to sit and think about what happiness means to us, what we want, how we're going to get it, stuff like that. And then we did a meditation where you go back into your mind of childhood till you die, and feel or process those things. And that was really good too, because before we did, like 2 days prior to doing this meditation, we had talked a lot about being blocked, what is stopping us from happiness, what is happiness, anger, sadness, all that stuff. And then the opposite, and how opposites attract, right? Like, you must feel sadness in order to know what happiness is, anger in order to know what peace is. And we did this one practice where we closed our eyes and thought about someone or something that we do not accept. And then when we came back to, we were all asked, how did we feel? And in that moment, I didn't feel anything. I didn't have anything that I don't accept. I realized that the first half of my life was so traumatic. And there's so much negativity. It's like so many horrible things happened throughout my first half of my life that I want to say this second half of my life, this since being ZORDIA, it's all good. It's all good from here on out, because I've experienced all the bad that I could experience. So now I know what to look for and appreciate all the good, and I'm welcoming it. Like, I'm ready. I did during the past and future meditation, I guess we did some present too. When the instructor asked us to think about when we were 6 months old, I don't remember that time. I really tried hard to remember that time, and I really don't. And then he asked us to think about when we were like 3 and 5. Oh, I remember those times. And it was like, in my mind, there was just like this peace when I was trying to think of the 6-month-old. And then as soon as it turned around 3, 5, and then forward, there was a lot of gloom, a lot of dark feelings. And of course, that's when my mom and my dad split up, and I went to live with my grandmother, and then started experiencing a lot of physical, emotional, and verbal abuse from my grandmother. And it just like, it was like a downward spiral from there of like, or maybe I could say upward, an upward spiral, because going upward in a spiral is a lot harder than going down, right? Going down is like, woo! But going up, like I want to say up the spiritual spiral, super difficult, all of the shit that I experienced. And each stage in my life, like he was like every 5 years, he was like, go there. Okay, now you're 15. Okay, now you're 20. And I was like, fuck. Like, the only things that really stood out when he mentioned those times or numbers were the traumatic things that I was experiencing at that time. Not one positive thing popped up in my mind. And I just sat with it. And so when it was like, okay, and now you're 40, and now you're 50, you know, and now you're 60, and now you're 80, and now you're dead, you know? Like, everything that I have not yet experienced that I imagine, because I'm 44 now, so when I imagine 50, yeah, I imagine some good times, some happiness, some peace. Now, mind you, having my kid was great. I love him so much. And he was there also experiencing some traumatic shit with me too. So I'm sure he's got some healing to do as well. I mean, I know he does. He's been working on it for a couple of years now. So he's way ahead of me in this whole process. So I was cool with the meditation workshop this weekend. And now we are asked to do like 40 days of meditation and breathing, because they say that it takes 40 days to reestablish a habit. And I'm okay with that too. But I don't think that the breathing is what I actually want to do. I am going to, however, practice 40 days of going to the gym. That's what resonates with me. The breathing, I think more than anything, what Spirit was telling me is it's not just about the breathing, it's about taking that time each day to check in with myself. I may still follow through with the 20 minutes a day of just breathing and meditating. I'm not so sure if I'm going to sit 20 minutes a day and do the exact meditations that we were taught. I don't know about that. And then towards the last day, I was like listening. Even the second day, every now and then the instructors would say something, and I would be like, no. I wouldn't say anything out loud, but I would think to myself, this is starting to sound like a cult. So I looked up the Art of Living meditation website, the YouTube videos, the person who started it, all that stuff. And even if it were a cult, which it totally feels like it is, there are still a lot of great things that they are teaching people, and some great things that are happening because of, I guess, this person's enlightenment. I just don't know how I feel about giving one person so much credit. It's almost like they become a god, and I'm not okay with that. And they did speak of this man that created this program like a god, like he was some sort of, I mean, he's obviously a spiritual leader, right? But in my mind, or maybe this is just a really bad way of thinking, someone that's really connected to spirit doesn't need to be in the limelight. It doesn't need the fame. Doesn't need for everyone to know that they're spiritual. It's just something that they are, and they can pass along. And there is a lot of retreats, a lot of workshops, so a lot of money to be made in this Art of Living company. I'm not okay with worshiping anyone. And that's kind of the feeling I started getting was like this was like a new Jesus or something. So I'm glad I attended it. I'm just not sure if I will continue. It might be great for others, but I got what I wanted out of it, and that's I need to focus on more self-care with myself, which I've been talking about, but like really diligently, like put it on my calendar and make time to do it. Make time to lift weights, swim, sit in the hot tub, sit in the steam room. I'd rather meditate like in the steam room, honestly. So I'm doing some breathing and cleansing. So that's what I did this weekend. Oh, the other thing that we were to also do is to practice silence. That was tough. That was really tough. Because when I got off of the meditation, I just wanted to call my best friend and tell her about it. And the first day that I did the meditation, I mean, let's just say the whole fucking weekend, okay, it was just like constant interruptions. My dog barking. I mean, I live in a small space, and me trying to sit and then lay down on the ground, and my husband waking up, walking around me, and my dog, and I don't have enough space right now in my living space in my trailer to really do these things. Luckily the sun's coming out, maybe I could do some shit outside, but I definitely want to manifest a piece of land, a larger place, something so that I can have at least a meditation, yoga office of my own to myself, so I can focus on my homework and have my me time when I need it. But for now, I will go to the YMCA. I could do yoga there, and my homework I just kind of do wherever I'm at. I figure it out, because that's what I've always done. I've always just figured shit out. So I'm not gonna join the cult, but it was a pretty cool experience. There were 3 other people from all over the United States, different time zones, and going through different things in their life. And it was like an in-person Zoom webinar, so we got to talk to each other, ask questions, and we're all in connection with each other on WhatsApp. Like I said, I'm not going to probably continue, but I'm really glad that I did the first step of reopening my mind's eye. And that's it. I think I'm going to start practicing a little more silence. So I may not be posting as much because I want to stay in my mind and stay focused on, first of all, passing my advanced quantitative analysis and research class, which I cannot fail. If I fail, I get kicked out of the program. So I'm really torn between hyper focusing on that and music right now, because we do have some shows coming up. Luckily, it's not a whole lot of shows. It's just like one in March, one in April, one in May. But that is also band practice every weekend. And that's a 4-hour trip for me on top of like a 5-hour band practice. So my whole Saturday is like taken. That's my issue. So I just gotta figure out how to make more time in my schedule for my self-care.